Hello guys, I am back from an review and today we're talking about where Deku was abandoned. So in the last video, Deku, well, I'm not gonna tell you what happened last time because I'm a bit sleepy and I just want to go to sleep early. So yeah, so let's talk about what happens next. So after that whole incident at the festival, Izuku was preparing to go to class. As when Izuku gets there, Izuku sees Eri, and if you don't know, Eri is 15. I meant 15. I meant 18 in this what if because I decided to make Eri a little bit more older, as in a little. I mean, older. So yeah. So after Izuku sees her, Izuku says this. Wait, you're the girl that almost attacked us. So Izuku gets um his well his his sniper rifle. Sorry about that. Wait for a second again. Sorry about that. He didn't say it out loud, he just said it like in his head. As Aizawa says this, don't worry, she's not going to kill you. As Izuku thought in his mind, really? So, Izuku sees his classmates, including Tristan and Rose. As Tristan says this, hey boss, as Izuku tells to himself, why is Tristan just allowing her to live? As Aizawa tells him that, she's going to be reformed because, UA decides to make this. They decide to make a villain reforming class where villains are going to be reformed and turned into regular old citizens or become heroes. So, because of that, Eri decides to, become a hero because of, Izuku. So, yeah, wait for a second. So, yeah. So, Izuku goes to his seat as Izuku gets annoyed by Eri keeps, because of Eri keeps, tapping his head, or tapping the back of his head, as she keeps saying, Izuku, 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 Izuku. Izuku's starting to get, pissed off. And yes, I just said that. And yes, I'm allowed to say that because it's an 18 plus series. So, yeah. So, I'm technically allowed to now basically swear in this video. So, yeah. So, Izuku is starting to get pissed off. Izuku thinks in his mind, this girl is starting to annoy me. So, when it's lunchtime, everybody starts going to the cafeteria, including Izuku, as Izuku starts, eating with the rest of his classmates, including Eri, Eri, Jiro, and Kaminari, which Kaminari is a girl in this what if, because if you don't know, Kaminari is actually a girl. I'm sorry about that. Wait for a second again. So, while Izuku was eating, Eri starts annoying him again. She starts tapping on Izuku's, shoulder, and she keeps saying, Izuku, 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 Izuku. Izuku says to himself, this bitch is currently annoying me. As Izuku says, she's absolutely infuriating. Izuku was about to kill her, but Izuku decides to, don't, because, it's in school regulations. I meant school regulations. Wait for a second again. As Kaminari slams both of her hands on the cafeteria table, as she says this, why, why are you keep doing this? As she says this, oh, so you must be Miss Kaminari I heard about. I heard that you're quite a handful for the teachers. And also, I also heard that you're the roommates of, the roommates of Mr. Izuku, right? As she says this, yeah, so what? As she starts getting closer, as she whispers in her ear, I'm sorry, but he's going to be mine. He's quite interesting, Mimi. He's actually quite interesting. And those types of people that interest me are going to be my slaves. So she starts getting frozen in fear because of that word. Enslaved, she said. She she starts her mind starts going to the gutter, I guess I can call it, thinking that Izuku's gonna become an unsavory slave to her. So yeah, wait for a second again. So when Jiro hears that, she says this slave as when everybody hears that they say, wait, a slave? For Bakugo, he says this, wait, a slave? Oh no. Bakugo just gets his food and starts getting out of the well. Gets out of the entire situation. I says this, fuck this shit, I'm out. He just literally said that right out of the blue. As both, well, so I meant Kaminari and well, both Kaminari and Jiro start fighting start fighting Eri, which they cause a brawl in the cafeteria. Izuku starts bringing the rest of the students that are not going to be joining the fight back outside. So Izuku was left in the middle of the crossfire of the battle between Kaminari, Jiro, and Eri. Eri starts using her quirk to basically make all of the food rotten and smashing it across Kaminari's face. For Kaminari, she starts using electricity to basically push a little bit of the food towards Eri. For Eri, she starts creating more rotten food and throwing it at Jiro. As for Jiro, she starts just screaming at the food, causing him to fly even faster at the face of Eri. Izuku had enough and decides to create tons and tons of ice, which creates a wall. Izuku says this. Well, not saying it out loud is more like this. He just gestures to all three of them to basically stop. So they stop as they started going their separate ways. So yeah, wait for a second. So after that whole scuffle, Izuku's and the rest of his classmates start going to their normal classes. They mostly laughed about that whole fight as it's basically time for them to go back to their dorms. So, Izuku gets back to his dorms as Izuku sees, an extra bed. Izuku says to himself, oh no. As Izuku says to himself, please don't. Please, 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 please. Izuku hears behind them, Izuku. As Izuku says, oh no. Izuku looks behind them as it's Eri. Eri looking over him as she says this. So, I'm guessing we're gonna be roomies. So, I'm glad. So, she brings out a leash and collar. Yep, that's gonna be, a little bit fun. So this is going to be an 18 plus part, so I want you all to basically, if you're not old enough, just get out. So yeah, so let's begin. This is part. So she jumps on Izuku as she starts, using her quirk to make Izuku 10 years old. Izuku says, Izuku starts getting a little bit shy. Izuku gets his, mask torn off of him because, it was pretty loose. As Izuku says, please, don't see my face. Izuku's, cute little, wait for a second. Izuku is being, well, has been turned into a 10-year-old, a cute little 10-year-old that's not, well, that's not even helping that she, as in she, I mean, Eri absolutely likes. So she basically grabs both of the hands that are basically covering Izuku's face as she says this. Uh-huh. I absolutely love the younger ones. It makes me feel something else. She starts licking her lips as she says this. Now, I can't have some fun with you. She starts grabbing Izuku's crotch. And yes, this is still going to be an 18 part, 18 plus part, so better get out if you're young, if you're not young enough. So, she starts grabbing on Izuku's junk. Izuku basically starts moaning as Izuku says, "Please stop, please." As she says this, "No, I'm gonna make you moan, moan until you're nothing more than my slave. I want you to become mine, and mine alone." As when Izuku's about to explode, I'm just gonna say it. Kaminari opens the door immediately as she says this. "You're not allowed to do that to Izuku." As for Jiro, she says this. "Yeah, you're not allowed to do that." As for well, Eri, she says this. "Oh, really?" So Izuku gets turned back into a 18-year-old. Yes, he's 18. So after Izuku gets turned back into an 18-year-old, Izuku basically says this, "Where's my mask?" Izuku starts grabbing onto his loose mask as Izuku gets it and covers his face. Izuku stops talking at that point. So while for Eri, G and Kabanari, well, they were instantly fighting. They started attacking each other in the hallway. It causes a bit of a ruckus as the teachers basically arrive as they say a villain attack as they see three girls fighting. As for for Jiro, she says this, "You're not allowed to touch Izuku like that. And what are you doing with him? That was disgusting." As she says this, "Oh really? And why did you call me disgusting when you felt all these, unpure feelings as well?" As she says, "Shut up." For Kaminari, she says this. "Yeah, you were just, it made me sick." She starts creating electricity. So after using her electricity a bit too much, she turns into her dum dum mode. Eri starts laughing. Eri starts saying, "Oh my god, I can't. If you use too much of your electricity, you basically turn into that." As for wait for a second. For Jiro starts creating her starts creating because of Jiro's sound manipulation. She's able to create like sound barriers. Because of that, she's able to create now weapons from all that training. So she creates a sound barrier type weapon, which is a sword. She stabs it onto the ground as it creates a loud piercing noise, as it kind of makes Eri deaf a little bit. As she says this, "Dang it, I can't hear anything." As for Jiro, she kicks Eri right in the face. As Eri says this, "Why, you little? Guess how to use this then." So she creates a large blade. Wait for a second. So she creates a large blade, as the blade seems to be mechanical. So the teachers say, "What the heck? Did anybody?" As for wait for a second. Principal Nezu says this. "Well, I gave her that weapon." As they say, "What?" As he says, "Yeah, this. Yeah, it's a special weapon that I created for her. After all, she's going to become a hero, so she needs something to defend herself after all, so I created this. This blade is able to cancel out any type of quirk. It's made from the DNA of Aizawa." As Aizawa says this. Wait. You stole my DNA? As he says this, no. Anyway, just see her fight. So, she starts charging in at Jiro. As she's about to use her supersonic scream, she basically stopped it, instantly destroying the ability. As she says this, why didn't it work? I meant, why didn't it work? As she says this, sorry, but I won't let you win. So, she starts slicing like tons and tons of slices. I meant, she basically starts cutting her 1,000 times. As when it's done, she basically teleports right behind her. As she says this, uh, ha! You did really cut me. I didn't felt and as she feels her clothes, as she looks down, all of her clothes were sliced to pieces. Jiro screams as she says this, where's my clothes? Why is... As she sees the ground, her clothes were torn apart by the slices. As she says this, you cheater! As she says this, sorry, but I'm having Izuku for tonight. So yeah, so she goes back to the room. As she says this, Izuku, as Izuku is gone. She's trying to find Izuku. Eri says this, Izuku, where are you? Izuku is pretty much hiding in the wall on the roof because he doesn't want to deal with all three of them. So yeah, so wait for a second. Izuku thinks, maybe I should just sleep here. Yeah, I'll just sleep here. So Izuku gets his pillow blanket and guess you can say it's a mattress. I'm just gonna say it's a futon. Yeah, a futon. So Izuku goes to sleep for that night. As when Eri can't find him, he decides to she decides to sleep on Izuku's bed. Eri says this, ah, it smells just like Izuku. So both Eri, Kaminari, and Jiro start going to their respective beds as they go to sleep. So yeah, so I'm sorry for this episode to be pretty short, but I'm kind of sleepy. It's just all of the modules I have to do. Sorry guys. So yeah, so I before you leave, guys, I want all of you to subscribe so you can see like this made by me. So yeah, so I hope you liked the video. Comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye.